Governor Newsom doubling down on his invitation to President-elect Trump to visit Southern California to survey the fire damage. This as Newsom plans to move forward with a special legislation session originally meant to, quote, Trump-proof the state, but now also includes $2.5 billion in emergency aid. And Democratic leaders have hinted they plan to combine all the legislation, but Newsom now promises not to condition one issue on the other.
Kevin Kiley represents Rockland in the House of Representatives. He previously served in the State Assembly, and he joins us now. Nice to have you with us. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
So let's start by talking about your old home, the State Assembly. They are currently in a special session to Trump-proof California. But as we reported, the governor promises not to merge those efforts with emergency assistance. So what's your response to the moves in Sacramento amid the wildfires?
Well, I was very disappointed when I initially saw that they were going to make this into some sort of, one large package where they were going to condition aid for wildfire victims on approving $50 million for future lawsuits against the Trump administration. I don't think that was right. And thankfully, after sort of some public criticism of this, the governor and the legislature have now said they're going to do these things separately. That's appropriate. But I think that the very fact that they had this special session, which I think everyone kind of sees as a political stunt, does serve to highlight the misplaced priorities of our legislature and frankly, our governor as well. That they're off chasing these shiny objects, trying to, revive the resistance and trying to, poke a stick in the eye of the incoming president when we have very serious challenges here in California. And I think we're going to learn there was a lot more the state could have done that would have, done more to keep these fires in check.
Kevin, let's talk more about your current job and those conditions. Speaker Johnson has suggested, as we mentioned, there should be conditions on the federal aid. Are you for any types of conditions, and which in particular, if so?
No, I've been very clear that what I want to see is aid to the victims in the LA area as quickly as possible. We need to get that there promptly for rebuilding and recovery. And I do think there need to be safeguards in place to make sure that the money actually does get to the right people as quickly and as efficaciously as possible. So that's my view of the matter. My heart goes out to everyone in the LA area who has been affected, which is so many people by this point who have just lost everything. Sadly, people who have lost loved ones. And, I don't represent LA, but I am a representative from California. I actually lived in LA myself for several years too. And it's just absolutely heartbreaking and devastating to see the beautiful communities, that have been so severely, suffered such severe damage. And so I do think we have an obligation to help as much as possible to begin the rebuilding effort as soon as we can.
Thank you. And I know that your words mean a lot to everybody that's listening that has been affected, and so many, tens of thousands have been affected. Now, last week, you took to the House floor and you accused Governor Newsom of lying about forest management. The governor's website states that they actually treated more than 700,000 acres of land for wildfire resilience in 2023 and spent about $200 million annually on this. So why is that not sufficient enough? And as a result, do you think that we were unprepared for the fires?
I do think we are unprepared. And, for as far as the governor goes, first of all, I'm not sure why he's spending his time setting up a website to try to give himself credit or to deflect blame or whatever he's doing. He really needs to be focused on being the chief executive of the state and attending to this ongoing catastrophe. But when it comes to forest management in California, it was actually an NPR investigation, Capital Public Radio, which is the NPR affiliate in the Sacramento area, that found that Newsom had exaggerated the amount of treatment he had done in terms of forest management by what they said was a staggering 690%. So that's not me making that accusation. That's the result of an NPR investigation. But beyond just sort of that disconnect between what he said and what he's actually done, in California, we've had a lot of policies that have made it very difficult to manage our forests effectively, where it can take a long, long time to do just basic common sense, treatments and prescribe burns. And as a result, we have millions upon millions of overgrown acres, which sadly have caused these catastrophic events to recur with some level of regularity. So I do think this is a moment for us to think about how we can make some real changes and bring some common sense to our state when it comes to forest management and when it comes to water policy as well.
Yeah, not everyone is up for that happening in their backyard. Before we let you go, we want to know, your opinion on this, should Trump visit the fire zone?
I think he definitely has an interest in coming and seeing it firsthand and learning more about what went wrong so that we can all work together to assist with the rebuilding and recovery and get California back on the right track.
And as the president-elect gears up to take the oath of office, what are your priorities for the 119th Congress amid its razor-thin majority?
Well, I think that getting our economy back on track, revitalizing our economy, securing the border, and protecting public safety are among my top 3 priorities. I will say I did have the chance to speak with the president as part of a group of us who care a lot as well about tax policy in California, what's known as the state and local tax deduction, which many people will remember. You used to be able to deduct all of your state and local taxes when you filed your federal return, but that was capped at $10,000. So what we're trying to do this year, and I'm very hopeful it'll be successful, is we're trying to raise that cap so people can deduct much more of their state and local taxes when they file their federal return.
Yeah, we're looking at some photos from your trip there to Mar-a-Lago last week, so we were able to air those as well. So thank you so much, Congressman Kevin Kiley. We appreciate your time and your insight, and we do hope to see you back here in the future.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.